Today we are watching The Goonies, a kids movie from 1980 something. The movie starts in prison where this singular guard goes to release an entire cell block of hardened criminals. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Anyhow, he pulls up to see that this one criminal has committed suicide and has left a whole note, basically rage baiting the guard and like the police system and all that shit. Turns out he didn't really commit suicide and takes out the guard in one fucking punch. Is that even botanically possible? Anyway, I'm also curious, like, why the hell are inmates allowed to dress in mufti in a normal prison? Like, and why is there only one single guard on active duty? This nigga literally just walked out of an entire prison. Mind you, he's here for murder, by the way. This nigga just walked right out of a whole ass prison. Where the are the guards? He goes outside to meet up with the rest of his gang, who are pouring gasoline on the floor for some reason. Once again, zero guards in fucking sight. The rest of the guards finally show up. Where the fuck have these clowns been all this time? Anyhow, one of the gang members shoots at the gasoline on the floor, which sets it on fire. And once again, these clowns are dancing in the middle of the fire like they can't just jump over that shit. Like, it's really not at all. It's really not that high at all. Anyhow, these guys are a gang called the Fratellis. They're kind of like a family or something. They're very important, so just remember that name. So the Fratellis escape and they enter a whole ass police chase. Also interesting to note that this entire police chase occurs in the immediate vicinity of all of the main cast. However, the only one in the main cast that noticed is this nigga named Chunk. That's not actually his name. They just call him that because he's very well proportioned. And he's also conveniently retarded. Anyway, the criminals escape and we cut to the home of this autistic asthmatic child called Mikey. Mikey has a big brother named Brand, and they're both sad because I think they're moving out tomorrow or something. Okay, no, they're destroying their house tomorrow. Yeah, that's why they're sad. So they get visited by Mikey's Hispanic friend. I forgot his name, so we'll just call him Pedro. Anyway, Pedro is trying to, cheer them all up, and, Chunk pulls up and then tells them about the entire police chase that he just witnessed. However, because Chunk is kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo, when he gets knocked out of major international competitions, he has a long history of bending the truth. Anyhow, nobody believes him, and then their Japanese Asian friend pulls up. I also don't remember his name, so we'll just call him, let me see, what's the most Asian name out there? Let me see. Lee. Yeah, we're going to call him Lee. Lee is kind of like this, tech guru in the group. He's the smart one that invents all this random shit. Lee pulls up and, he bumps into everybody. Because of that, Chunk breaks this sculpture, at least the dick of the sculpture. And then Mikey says this.
That's my mom's most favorite piece. That's my mom's most favorite piece.
So Mikey's mother pulls up with this woman called Rosalita, who's supposed to help them with the packing and also arrange the house. Why are you arranging the house when they're going to break it down tomorrow? Then you go around telling the maid stuff like, oh, you're going to be really happy here. Nigga, she's going to be here for a couple of hours. Mikey's mom and Rosalita go out to buy some groceries. And then Mikey and his friends go upstairs to explore the attic, basically where Mikey's dad keeps all this shit. And in looking around, Mikey finds this old treasure map about this pirate called One-Eyed Willie. Willie was basically like the Idon, the Odogu, the hush puppy of pirates back then. And then one day he decided he wanted to steal shit from the British government. And just like our dear hush puppy in real life, he won't go chop big fish, but now the fish first chop him. In American terms, Willie fucked around and found out that Britain back then was not to be messed with. So him and his boys retreated into a cave where the British government trapped them and started digging tunnels and setting booby traps, in a bid to protect the treasure. And eventually he killed all these men, but one of them escaped, and that's why the map is outside today. And somehow it ended up in this nigga's father's attic. I don't know how or why it is still here. Shouldn't it be in some sort of museum or something? Basically, over the years, many people have been trying to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure, but none have succeeded. The latest to attempt was this nigga called Chester Copperpot. He went missing since 1935 or something. Yeah, ever since then, nobody has really cared about it anymore. Somebody knocks on the door and they go to answer, and we see that it's these guys that are here to buy their house. I mean, technically, they're not really buying it. Their father took out a lot of loans on the house and he wasn't able to pay them back, so now they're foreclosing the house. That's just life, man. Everybody just gets sad about it, and then Mikey and his friends finally decide to go and look for One-Eyed Willie's treasure so that they can pay off their father's debts. So they jump Brand and dip. Mikey's mother and the maid come back and they free Brand and tell him to go and find the boys. So he goes to do just that. At the same time, the children have found their first point on the treasure map. These three ominous looking rocks. Brand is still trying to find them, however he gets hold right in front of the find shit. Now look, game is game, alright? I respect putting in a lot of effort to try and impress a gal. But I draw a fine line at attempted murder, bruv. What are you doing? Anyway, the boys have now found the second point on on the map, which happens to be this abandoned looking restaurant that they approach.
Stupid!
And after they approach said restaurant, they hear literal gunshots.
Someone probably dropped the pot. Yeah.
Stupid!
They look inside the window and see these creepy looking ass niggas moving around some weird looking shit inside this creepy ass restaurant. Yeah, the only person who is concerned is Chunk. In fact, they find a car with literal bullet holes in the boot. Yeah, the only person who seems to be concerned by any of this is Chunk. They enter said abandoned looking ass restaurant, encounter these deranged motherfuckers inside who gave them bath water to drink. In fact, Mikey goes down into the basement where he encounters a fucking Nephilim. A Nephilim chained to the wall in the basement of this creepy looking ass restaurant. Yet the only person who is concerned is Chunk. In fact, after they leave said restaurant and Brand and the girls from earlier pull up to come and take them home. Actually, how the hell did they know they were here? Anyhow, so Brand and the girls from earlier pull up to take them home. These niggas still go right back into this creepy looking ass restaurant, and the only person who was concerned by any of this shit was Chunk.
Stupid!
Yeah, I was wondering why there's not one single black man in this friend group. There can never be a black person in this type of friend group. It's not possible. Anyhow, this is Andy and her friend with glasses. Andy is basically Brand's girlfriend. So when they get inside, they're looking for the lowest point in the floor because, that's kind of like the next clue. Meanwhile, Brand is looking for another very low point. And after some tomfoolery, they find a dead body and a secret passage. So the Fratellis return and the kids go and hide inside the secret passage. However, they leave Chunky outside, by mistake. So they just send him to go and get help from the police. However, he gets promptly kidnapped by the Fratellis. The kids explore deeper into the tunnels until they bump into the entire town's plumbing pipes, basically. And they start, messing around with a bunch of shit and a lot of stuff that I don't really think is physically possible. But look, this is Hollywood. I'm just trying to finish this video, so I really give a shit. So anyhow, they end up breaking one of the pipes here, and the leak reveals some secret tunnels that are from One-Eyed Willie's map. So they enter the tunnels and come across our dear friend Chester Copperpot. Chai. So that's where he went. I have to say, the audacity for these niggas to be touching a whole ass dead body with this level of comfort is crazy, man. So Mikey triggers one of One-Eyed Willie's traps, which I am incredibly surprised still functions after 400 whole years. But anyway, the kids barely escape with their lives. However, all this, making noise and hullabaloo has alerted the Fratellis to the presence of the secret passage. So they go inside to look for the kids, who have incidentally stumbled upon the bottom of this old wishing well. Basically, like, in America, they have these things called wishing wells. They will just throw money inside the well and, apparently to make your wish come true. Like, that has to be the most fundamentally stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. So the Fratellis lock Chunky up with the Nephilim and they dip to go and find the kids. Said kids want to use this new wishing well opportunity to escape. However, Mikey somehow convinces them to continue, which, they're white. It's a movie. What the hell did you expect? Meanwhile, the Nephilim manages to escape. Turns out he was just a prisoner of circumstance this entire time. He also proceeds to sexually assault a child. Before going with Chunk to find the others. Said others have managed to set off another booby trap, which, I don't even know what to be more surprised about. The fact that these 400-old mechanisms are still working perfectly, or the fact that this nigga didn't die. Anyhow, everybody stops for a pee break, and it turns out Andy is a bit hydrated in one of the lower crevices. Either that or she's ovulating, because she calls Brand, and Brand, he's taking a leak, so he sends Mikey to go and check on her. So Mikey goes to go and check on her, and the moment she feels this nigga's shoulder, she sucks the shit out of this little nigga. She was so down bad that she didn't even open her eyes to check whether it was Brand she was really kissing. Anyway, the Fratellis catch up with them. However, Hollywood keeps slowing them down as we get to the next room, and yeah, this nigga One-Eyed Willie was sick in the head, brother. There's no way you killed an entire human being and use them as a booby trap. Like that's just sick, man. Anyhow, they have to play some tunes on this piano constructed purely by human remains, or else they will die. So Andy, she's taking piano lessons before, so she gets it done, and they go to this whole water slide system that takes them basically to the treasure room. and they begin filling up their pockets with another man's riches until they get caught by the Fratellis, who make them surrender all their goods and for some weird reason don't kill these kids. I mean, are we not supposed to believe that these guys are heartless murderers? They literally killed a whole ass guy. Why now would they not be hesitant to, unlife a bunch of kids? Anyhow, they stall long enough and then Nephilim and Chunk come back. Nephilim confronts the bad guys, and instead of these niggas to go back and, pick up the shit that the Fratellis made them drop, they literally jump over the guys. Please, where was the sense in this? Like, look, there is no way I'm risking my whole life to find this shit and then I'm leaving with nothing. No way, bro. No way. This nigga was carrying for like a whole 6 minutes. Y'all could have still picked up your shit and dipped. But no. Yeah, white guys in movies. You just have to be different. Anyhow, the Fratellis, unleash the last of Willie's booby traps, and, the whole cave starts imploding on itself, so everybody has to escape, which Nephilim helps them do. And then everybody gets reunited with their parents. But then these clowns pull up. Like, look, I don't know about you, yeah, but me, alright, if my kids were missing for like 24 whole hours, and then some nigga is coming to tell me shit about some foreclosure, nigga, I'ma lay hands on you. Oh! But none of that matters because Mikey still has a few of the jewels inside his pouch, so I guess he saves the day. Anyhow, they call the Fratellis, and yeah, end of movie.